Hi, Diane here, and I'm going to talk to you today about writing by the seat of your pants. So generally speaking, there are two schools of thought when it comes to how to write. There are plotters and there are pantsers, which is the writing by the seat of your pants approach. And you can make arguments for either side on which is the better way to write. So I think it's important to say that the number one thing when it comes to writing is actually sitting down and writing. You have to find the way that works for you. So I am a pantser, which means I generally don't know where I'm going as I'm writing. I make it up as I go along. So I'm going to talk to you today. I'm going to give you 3 tips for the seat of your pants approach, and I'm going to give you a bonus formula to help you stay on track as you're navigating the murky waters of not knowing where you're going. Okay, so you ready? Let's go. Tip number 1, you have to know something. So when you start writing, you do have to have some kind of concept. It could be the town that you're working in, it could be the hook of your series, if maybe it's a wine-themed series or if it's a crafting series. It could just be that you know your main character really, really well. For me, I like to know who my victim is, and I like to have my suspects all show up on the page by page 75. So my victim, usually the crime happens in the first 3 chapters. I introduce all my suspects in those first 75 pages. I don't know who did it, but generally that's enough to give me direction without really being too restrictive to the creative process. Tip number 2, you don't have to know everything. So this is actually one of the more fun parts of writing by the seat of your pants, is that the fact that it's okay to not know where you're going. Now there are some people who tell you you have to know who your killer is and you have to know where the book ends and what the final chapter is. And you know what, if that works for people, that's great, because this really is about what works for you. For me, I don't know where I'm going with the end. I generally don't know who the killer is as I'm writing, and I like that process because my sleuth is figuring it out as I'm figuring it out, and I feel like that gives the amateur sleuthing aspect that organic quality of knocking on doors, and sometimes knocking on the wrong door, and sometimes getting into trouble, and sometimes like scratching your head and saying, wow, I really totally screwed that up. Meaning screwed up that part of the investigation for the character, not screwed up that part of the book. Tip number 3, you can change your mind. So this is the place where you get complete freedom, because you can be writing and you can realize things aren't exactly what you wanted, and that's okay, and you can change it. So I liken this to, say you go on vacation in a town, in an unfamiliar town, and my little lime green trim is popping out there. Okay, so you drive down an unfamiliar road and you don't know where you're going, and you go a couple miles just to explore, and maybe there's nothing there, in which case you turn around and you go back to where you were. Or maybe you find a string of yard sales that you had no idea were there, and all of a sudden you score some great finds. Or you end up discovering a coffee shop that is just a quirky little quaint place that you can hang out. So that's kind of what this you can change your mind part is about. You can write, and you can write in a certain direction, and if you get so far and you realize this isn't where I thought it was supposed to go, it's okay to turn around and go back. And if you think about that, your amateur sleuth is going to be doing that anyway, because they are not going to get it right the first time. That's part of the fun of following an amateur as they investigate a crime. Okay, so if that last part scared you a lot, I'm going to help you out here a little bit. Check the comments, not the comments, check the comments below, and there is a link to a download tip sheet with a very scientific called the door number 3 approach, which is something I use when I get a little lost and I'm not sure where I'm going. And it's kind of a good little worksheet that'll help you work through 3 possible directions that your book could go in and how you can easily get back on track by using that. So again, check below for the link and for that tip sheet for helping to find your way back on track. Okay, so here's your easy formula to keep you on track, and it is this. To write a cozy mystery, you need a victim, you need suspects, and you need curiosity. So victim plus suspects plus curiosity equals cozy mystery. So if you keep that in mind, that'll help you stay on track as you're figuring out the rest of the details between chapter 1 and the end. And I wish you the best of luck in writing. If you like this video, give it a like, leave me a comment, or subscribe below so you can find out when I post new videos to the channel. And if you're writing a mystery and you're having a little trouble, go ahead and drop me an email and I'll see if I can help you work it out. Okay, thank you.